Everybody, another lot of EV news. Some of the highlights, I guess, in Australia, there's now 34 EVs available, but it seems not all of those are being sold or they're being sold in very small numbers. BYD's profits have increased by over 400%. Tesla appears to be on pace for a record Q1. Results will come out on Sunday in the US, and a Mexican Gigafactory has been announced for Tesla. And last is just a bit of fun with the Australians. So we'll have a look at that one soon. One of the new cars that's generated some excitement is the new Hyundai Ioniq 6. Here's a picture of it, and drivers indicated that 300 of those have been sold. I don't think deliveries start until next month, maybe, or May, maybe, but they're coming soon, and 300 out of the initial set have been released. So that's exciting news. It's not really a design that I like, but I'm sure lots of people will like it, and it's supposed to be really sporty. Um, but Bryce Gatton puts together a list of all the vehicles that are available in Australia. So he's got a list there of all the ones that are being sold currently and also ones that are coming later in the year. I had a look at New South Wales registration data to try and understand those things and see if I could get a handle on what's being sold. The data is particularly poor. It's not possible to identify models, and it doesn't seem to show anything for Polestar or BYD, which are two of the more successful brands at the moment. And if you select EVs, you can't even see which model, which makes have sold those things. You've got to go through the make and then go to EV, and then it's rubbish data. The last thing that's not great is any quantities less than or equal to 5 are recorded that way, and I guess that's for some sort of privacy purpose. But what that means is that most of those are probably ones, but occasionally there might be 2, 3, 4, or 5 registered to the one transaction, and they're recorded as one. So the numbers are not reliable, and then anything over 5 is recorded correctly, it seems. So not great to make your assumptions based on these things. Anyway, let's have a look at the vehicles that are available for sale, or the makes of those vehicles at least, and what their quantities were in New South Wales for January and February, because that's the data I've got at the moment. So first one's Audi. Great looking car, expensive, but great looking car. And 37 of those have been sold in the 2 months. And Audi lists 6 models. So 6 models, 37 sales. You be the judge of whether that's successful or not. BMW, it lists 7 models that are EV. I don't think of plug-in hybrids as pure EVs, so I'm not looking at those, just real EVs. 146 sales, which isn't too bad, I guess. BYD, can't tell because data.gov.New South Wales doesn't list BYDs. That data comes from transport, so I'm not blaming data.gov. The Atto 3 is the only model available here, and I think there's quite a few sales. I think it's quite successful and probably the second most successful car. Similar. Hyundai, probably the Ioniq 5 because the 6 hasn't landed for sales yet. There's orders going, but nothing's been delivered. Had 103 sales. And not very much. Kia, 33, probably the Niro. There's more cars coming shortly, so that should change. Lexus had a grand total of 7 sales. I think the only option that's not a plug-in hybrid is the UX300E, and it recorded 7 sales in New South Wales. So you'd hope they could do better. Mercedes has a bunch of cars, 28 sales of EVs through Mercedes. That includes the eVito Touring. I couldn't see that any of those have been sold from the data because they're listed as a commercial vehicle as opposed to a passenger vehicle. Couldn't see that there were any, but again, the data's rubbish. MG, 177 sales in January and February. Seems more successful than a lot, and you actually do see the occasional MG out on the road, so it's kind of a positive thing. Minis, that's the vehicle, MGVS. I think I've got that wrong. But that's the Mini, and there were 14 of those. Nissan, the Leaf, 14 sales. I think there's a new Leaf coming soon, which might reinvigorate that. Can't tell for the Polestar because it's not shown. Um, nice looking car. I see quite a few of them out there, so I think it's quite successful. I'd like to rent one. I think Hertz, you can rent them. So if you're interested, go to Hertz, or maybe ev.com.au also rents them. It allows owners to share those cars, so you might be able to grab one from there. I was surprised that Porsche had 26 sales. They're expensive cars, and so there's 26 very wealthy people uh, buying a Taycan. Tesla, well and truly out in front. Again, can't decide the split in New South Wales between Model 3, Model Y, but there were 3,042 in the 2 months just into New South Wales. Volvo, I'm seeing a few of these around as well. 209, I know two people personally that have bought them and they're really quite happy with them. So that's good news. They're the vehicles that I can find that are actually recording sales out of the 34 that are listed earlier. BYD profits have gone up. I thought BYD was losing money, but there you go, 2.4 billion in 2022, and that's up over 400%. So that's quite impressive. It appears that Tesla's having a record first quarter. The numbers come out on Sunday in the US, but it's looking really quite positive there. And Tesla has also announced its latest factory in Nueve Luon. I'm probably pronouncing that terribly. And production's kind of tipped to start sometime in April once all the permits are in. And just for a bit of fun at the end of this one, the Australian under this URL with electric vehicles on the end, they posted something saying how exciting it was going to be in 2022 back in December 21 and how many vehicles would be available. And then their latest post, nearly 18 months later, is that the ALP's electric bus ran out of battery. So if you're looking for news on electric vehicles, maybe, just maybe, the Australian's not the place to go. All right, thanks very much. I hope you enjoyed this one. I feel like I had 2 coffees this morning and probably spoke pretty quickly, but I hope it was useful. Enjoy. If you like it, the usual thing. On the next page, it's going to ask you to subscribe and like. Really valuable for me if you do that. I've finally got over 100 subscribers, and I'd really like to get to 200 soon. So if you see this one and you like it, get value out of it, subscribe, and look forward to the next EV news, probably in about 2 weeks. Thank you. And please subscribe. It really helps. I've just hit 100 subscribers, so I've got a long way to go to make any money out of this, but it's really great to have people coming along and looking and making comments and so on. So if you can, please subscribe and you'll get notified when the next one comes out. Thanks very much.